Boy labeled a problem child for doodling gets the sweetest revenge. If you've ever been 10 years old, then you understand the agonizing boredom that is math class. Back then, there was only one way to get through it: cover your notes with geometric cubes, giant eyeballs, and that weird S shape we all knew about. At the sound of the bell, though, we'd all drop our pencils, unless you're Joe Whale. Though his head was buried in a book, Joe wasn't studying. Though his pencil was scratching away, he wasn't jotting down notes. Joe's mind wasn't even in the same realm as math class. In fact, it wasn't until Joe's teacher looked inside his notebook that the student's secret finally came out.
Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
Unlike the rest of us, 10-year-old Joe had progressed far beyond simple doodles. Opening up his notebook was like entering his imagination. The margins were chock full of inventive creatures and doodles, but not because it was Joe's favorite place to draw. The margins were the only place Joe could draw in peace, and he spent his class time filling his notebook with doodles instead of long division. Teachers called Joe a problem child and tried to stop his doodling, until one teacher finally took a closer look at Joe's notebook. When they opened it, they didn't see evidence of a distracted problem child, but of a gifted artist. Somehow, his doodles had personalities, each one different from the rest. Joe's teacher knew this art was meant to be shared with the world. There's no better way to share your pictures than through social media, and that's exactly what the teacher did. People were stunned by Joe's personality-filled doodles, and his art even caught the eyes of some very important people. The people of Number 4, a local Shrewsbury restaurant, were immediately captivated by Joe's doodles. That's when they contacted Joe with an unusual request, one that blew doodling in the margins right out of the water. In the main dining area of the restaurant was an 8-foot white wall, just begging to be decorated. They believed that Joe's doodles would be the perfect way to make the wall pop, but what they were asking was much more imposing than they knew. Joe was accustomed to notebooks, not blank walls that are more than twice his size. Even his father, Greg, was more than a little nervous about the idea, especially when he saw in person what Joe was up against. When I got there and saw what they wanted him to do, I thought, Joe doesn't like to duplicate drawings, so how is he going to fill an 8-foot wall without having to duplicate his doodles? It seemed too ambitious for young Joe. Until he grabbed a pen. Once he started doodling on the wall, nothing could stop him, especially not any protests from his parents or teachers. On the contrary, his parents had a much different reaction to their son's unconventional hobby. I would advise parents to encourage their children to always follow their passion and dreams, Greg said. After all, he watched his own son reap the benefits of such a mindset, even if the project initially seemed out of Joe's league. Seemed being the operative word. Instead of being intimidated, Joe simply kept drawing, covering as much wall as he could and at his own pace. Greg took pictures of the growing masterpiece, which became more captivating with every scratch of the pen. It took 12 hours for Joe to illustrate the entire wall, a process his parents watched with fascination. I was sitting there in awe, Greg said. Joe would look back at the wall like he was stuck, and come up with 20 more images at once. I don't know how, but the ideas just sprung to life, Joe told Cater's Clips about his doodles. His favorite part of doodling is imagining shaking hands with the doodles and giving them high fives. Such flights of fancy would make some parents nervous. But Joe's passion for the task made his parents proud. Joe seemed to get better and better. It was sparking even more creativity because of the scale of the wall, Greg described. The doodles certainly took on a life of their own. Talking cakes, cheeky toasters, polka-dotted birds, and various sunglasses-wearing creatures make the wall an unmistakable Joe creation. It's an 8-foot glimpse into his imagination, and after going viral, some people wanted more than just a glimpse. After photos of his artistic achievement went viral on social media, people from all walks of life reached out to Joe with their praise. That is so cool, was the general consensus, but for many, Joe was more than just a whiz with a pen. For many, the beginning of his story hit a little too close to home. I had a teacher who would tell me not to doodle on the edges of my homework, one woman commented on Facebook. So glad Joe has such supportive people in his life. Another comment came from a teacher who learned from experience how everyone has special abilities and are good at what they have passion for, even if that passion isn't schoolwork. Truly, Joe's passion has even grown beyond the wall. If there's an opportunity to help Joe moving forward, we should put in every effort to make that happen, Greg explained of the Instagram account they created. Very few people see Joe's doodling as a problem anymore, and he's even earned a cool new nickname. Known as the Doodle Boy, Joe's nickname makes him sound like a superhero, and since his doodles make almost everyone smile, we'd say superhero isn't too far from the truth. Truly, having a gift for art pretty much sets you up for an interesting life.